Hi everyone, thank you for joining us on VodTalk. I'm your host Amirah Hussain. Mobile phones, what was once considered a privilege, is now seen as a necessity, and not only among the youth but for adults too. We are joined by Jadesola and Elif, and first I would like to ask Jadesola, what is it about mobile phones that makes you think that we're also hooked on mobile phones? Why are they so necessary nowadays?
I think it's because you can use it for anything. The way
Mm.
technology's developed, it's almost like having a laptop, music, games, like it's almost everything wrapped up in one. So I think it makes it really easy for people to be so dependent on it because it's like everything that they would need in one. That makes sense.
Yeah. Elif, what experience can you share with what you use for your phone just daily, regularly?
Well, I usually use my phone like all the time, every day. But when I use it, I usually use it for like social media and like to call relatives in different countries. And like, yeah, I just mainly use it to watch my favorite TV shows and like to call
Yeah,
my family from, that don't live with me here.
that's nice. You can contact people that you don't see every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, what do you think is the best thing about the phones? So, I think that
So many.
contacting family, first of all, is really important because now the world's so big, you can contact anyone across the world at any point. So, I think that's really fun. It's really nice. You can see your family members without actually seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think, Jade?
I think I think it's really smart. Like I think the best thing about it is that it's so smart. Like people use it to like what's it called? Get the location of people. Like you don't need. It's basically got rid of the use of lots of other things because of mobile
Yeah.
phones. For example, like people don't even use a sat nav anymore because they use Google
Yeah.
Maps on their
Yeah.
phone. Like it's so like advanced that it's really like gotten rid of the need for people to use other like devices. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
best things about it.
Elif, what do you think is the worst thing about phones? So
I
touching
feel
on the
like
issue between them, what do you think is
I
like the
feel
worst
like
thing?
the fact that it's so addictive to go on, and I feel
Yeah.
like it's wiped out like even for younger generations and children. I feel like it's a bad thing because whenever I see children, I see them like on tablets and
Yeah.
iPads, and it's like when I was a kid this wasn't the
Yeah.
case. And I just feel like it's like phones and technology is taking over, and I feel
Mm.
like it's leading to a loss of traditional games that even children
Board
play.
games, they're not used anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And
I can't
like
remember
I
the last
feel
time I
like
did a board game.
literally, and I just feel like it's really become like an unhealthy sort of like addiction for many people, and especially like always feeling like you need to check social media and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like even though I know no one's messaged me, I feel like I have to go and look like 10 times
Yeah.
one day,
Yeah. And it's really, really easy to get addicted to it. You just find something you like and then you're on it for the next couple of hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scrolling through TikTok
Yeah.
for like hours.
For real. And I think that it's also lowered attention spans. Have you
Yeah,
realized?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
this constant stimulation has made it so that reading books, like real books, has become so difficult because that constant kind of stimulation isn't there anymore. Yeah. Do you think that addiction is a common problem or something that's just in the youth? Or
Oh,
I
that's
feel like it's spreading, to be honest.
Most
Maybe
definitely.
our generation were the first generation to be on phones and tablets, but it's become very, I guess, universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I
What do you
still
think
feel
is the
like
most addictive part, Elif?
most
Mm.
addictive.
In your opinion,
I
for our
don't.
generation?
Pardon?
In your opinion, for our generation, what do you think is the most addictive part?
Of like using our
Yeah.
phones.
Why
Oh,
we want it so much?
110% social media.
Yes,
110%. There's no. I
I
haven't
agree.
seen a teenager go on their phone like just to call their nan. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it's definitely to do with social. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, if those weren't on your phone, I don't think it'd be.
Mm.
We would have as much of a problem around.
Yeah. But there are also positives to this kind of stuff. So seeing the news, for example, you can see what's going on in the rest of the world. I know that Twitter is a very broad platform where you can find a lot of information about lots of things going on in the world.
Yeah, but it's not that reliable. That's the problem.
It's not. That's an issue because you can find out information, but you can't really tell if it's unbiased, safe.
But couldn't you argue that by like Jadesola said, like, you know how you can share news on social media platforms? Doesn't that enable like fabrication and misinterpretation of news rather than actually addressing the news? Like on the news, you see what you see, and then on social media, it's like something completely different, and it's like this is this and that's that. So
interpretation of events can change
but
so
then
much.
Also it also brings attention to the things that the media doesn't say, because media is censored. So sometimes that user-generated content that people bring onto social media helps to bring awareness to like problems. For example, you know, when there was things going on in China with the Muslim concentration camp, that was not being reported on the news. However, people were talking about it on social media.
Yeah, you're right. It was really, really quiet on the news, and the social media a movement started, and then it ended up on the news.
Yeah.
On mainstream media. Yeah. So there are positives and negatives.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think would be a long-term health implication in the future? Because obviously we don't have a lot of research currently on phones. They're still relatively new. What do you think would be a long-term health implication?
I'll show you right now. My broken posture.
That's true. That's
what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I feel like the attention span thing would be a problem in the long run.
Yeah.
Maybe also, eyesight issue.
Yes,
eyesight issue. Because the lights and stuff on the phone until, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely on my phone until like 3 o'clock in the morning doing God knows what. Time goes by quick. Yeah, and that itself has an implication on our sleeping schedules, which that would have a problem on our health.
I definitely go to bed hours later because of like too much scrolling.
Yeah, why do you think that it's become such a talked about topic? Because there are good sides and bad sides to mobile phones, but a lot of the bad parts tend to find their way up. Like, if I have a headache, my mom tends to be, oh, it's because you're on your phone. Why do you think that is? Do you think that mobile phones are a good thing?
Yeah, I do think they're a good thing. And I genuinely think it's a problem with our generation because we don't really have much self-restraint. I think it's possible to be able to be on your phone without being addicted to it. But it's because we allow ourselves to be obsessed with going on our social media, not doing anything without looking at our phones. Because, think about the older generation. Think about the older generation. Some of them don't even have social media.
Yeah.
They have their phones for the sole purposes of
calling people.
And I think it could be like that with us if we had a little bit more self-restraint. So it's a good thing. Mobile phones will always be a good thing, but it's also just how we decide we want to use it.
Yeah. Whose fault do you think that is, though? The fact that we kind of don't have any control over this? Because I know that I've gone through my mom's phone and I just see her contacts and I'm like, this is the most boring thing ever. What do you do with this?
Yeah, I check my dad's phone. It's like all the football scores. That's all he looks
at
all evening.
Whose fault do you think it is? The fact that we're so dependent, I guess, on this external stimulation?
You know what? I was going to say I think it's our fault, but I think it's actually like mobile developers, people that make software. They make apps that entice us to want to use our phones more. Apple will make updates that will make us want to go on our phone more. That'll be like somehow if we have more storage or a new FaceTime update. When there was the new widgets, everyone spent like 12 hours on their phones.
Yes, I remember that. It was a whole trend on social media to design your phone the best way.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
apps that
Yeah.
customize
It's
them.
all those things that make us want to use our phones more.
Yeah.
That it contributes to the amount of time we spend on our phones, all these new updates. So I would say it's probably these new
The psychology against
developments
us.
and all these apps. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, yeah, you know what? And I think it has a little something to do with the whole FOMO thing. Let's say there's something new going on social media, something happened with, I don't know, Kylie Jenner, and then everyone's talking about it in
That's so true, I
school,
never thought
and you don't
about
know about it, so you're like, oh,
Exactly.
so you'd want to know. It's you
That's
need to know what's going on because it's the trending topics.
That's literally how everyone ended up joining TikTok. When
Yeah.
TikTok first came about, everyone was like, no, I'm not going to join TikTok. We
Yeah,
already
Yeah.
had
I feel like that's
Musical.ly.
so.
And
And
then
then
now, because
everyone's on TikTok.
people
I didn't know
started
someone
joining
who's
the
not.
app. Yeah.
I didn't know some. You know what? I personally have put a screen time on my sister's phone that she only has an hour a day because I don't want her to end up like me, who keeps going for hours and hours.
Yeah.
You know that whole self-discipline, self-restraint thing? I don't know if you know, but I've had to delete the app TikTok from my phone because I cannot not stop.
Oh my
Same.
So I've
god.
had to delete the entire app from my phone simply because I don't get anything else done.
Yeah.
So that kind of self-discipline, it's like there's either a yes or a no. There's no gray space in between.
No space.
It's so easy to lose yourself. Mm. How do you think we could fix this? Because it is a problem, this whole spending hours and hours and hours on a device that clearly isn't good for our health.
Yeah.
How do we fix that? The self-discipline, I feel like introducing mandatory maximum times. So
Yeah.
like
For
for
the
my
apps
sister,
or for us?
yeah, for the apps, maybe start with yourselves and listen to the screen time when it says your time's
Yeah.
over and not click 15 minutes
But
more.
it's so easy. Just press ignore
Easy.
and then just
Yeah,
go in it
it's
again.
so easy to click ignore.
Yeah.
Maybe finding that kind of joy elsewhere. Because we
Yeah,
did
that's
used to play outside when we were younger and we were great with that.
I think just like doing things outside, going outside. Honestly, like the world's such a beautiful place.
It is.
It is.
And we're very lucky to live in a city
Up
where
in
we
our
can go
houses on
anywhere.
our phones. Like, enjoy life. Like,
Yeah.
go bowling. Just go to the
Just go to
park.
the park and take a deep breath.
skiing, ride your bikes. Like,
Yeah.
find things to put your energy into that you also benefit from.
Yes,
Like,
long-term benefits.
even reading a book.
Reading a book. Read a book in the park. 2 in 1.
2 in 1.
2 in 1. Oh gosh. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But it would take a while to get into it because of how easy it is to just sit on your phone.
But I think that's why it's important to probably like make a routine. If you have a routine, almost like giving yourself your own timetable. Like we have timetables in school and we can stick to them. Why not make a timetable for outside of school that we could also stick to? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And keep it simple. I know I'm really bad with sticking to schedules. So give yourself like just for the next 15 minutes, read a book. That's it. It's nice and simple. It doesn't have to be right. By 6 p.m. you have to have read about 500 pages of the book Moby Dick or something ridiculous like that. Like keep it realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any advice on how to achieve this? I'd start small and self-discipline. Give yourself smaller goals to slowly start getting into it.
I feel like that's actually a very underestimated piece of advice. Like what's it called? I feel like people need to listen to that more. Like take small steps, because when I tried to do something like new, like for example, I want to for this sake, like get off my phone. I'll be like, okay, do 4 hours in the gym in the morning, and then do 3 hours of revision, and then read.
It's unrealistic.
I don't know why I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
that's not small steps.
Like don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah, like don't
die. But you could get there eventually, but don't start.
Yeah,
exactly. Like get there eventually.
Build your way up.
1 hour at the gym, half an hour study, break, half an hour.
Yeah, even like 10 minutes reading, that would do so much more than 10 minutes on social media. Yeah. So, okay, what do you think have you learned anything from social media on the positive side?
So many life hacks.
You know what? There are negative things there, but I know something that's a new movement that's happening is the spirituality and the self-care. It's a lot easier to access now because of social media. You can just follow those accounts instead of
Yeah.
There's other, I don't know, those kind of accounts.
I don't know. Me personally, I've actually gotten into cooking and baking more because of
That's
social media.
great.
Because you know, I'm
Nice.
literally stuck on food TikTok, guys, and then I just see all these recipes, and I'm like,
TikTok.
I'm going to make this, and then as a result, I actually cook more, and I think it's just helps me like do something more. Like I really didn't do anything in my house really until I
Yeah,
started.
you
Like,
know what? That's really good.
just
I've
doing,
actually
like,
been
cook,
reading
yeah.
a lot more because I've been getting a lot
Really?
more book recommendations from TikTok,
That's
and I was like,
nice.
these look really interesting, and I've been reading a
Yeah.
lot more than I have been. So that's, it's a good thing as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Elif?
I don't have any fantastical things to
Okay.
share. I see like life hacks, like squeeze lemon in this to get this look, and I just try it out, and I just think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They have like great. I'm currently also stuck on like the sporty gym section, and I just like look at people's gym routines and try replicate it. I really like.
That counts. That counts.
Yeah,
for
it
something
does.
positive. It does.
It's better than, I don't know, looking at videos and pictures of models with their fake.
Yeah.
No, you know the ones, these kill me so much. Sorry to interrupt. You know the ones that you know the ones that are like, if you were the most trustworthy signs, and then it goes.
Oh, the horoscopes. They're so silly.
It's like initials of your
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
And you're like, is that my initial there?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
See mine on there.
if you're this sign, you're good at baking, and then it doesn't
Yeah.
agree with you, so then you get mad.
Just to
Yeah.
start laughing, but I do watch them.
Horoscopes
so.
is its own entire topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any top tips? One tip right now, if you had to give it to anyone watching, on how to, let's say, for example, manage their screen time. Because I know my screen time is something I wouldn't want to show my parents.
So embarrassing.
I try to tell them, oh no, I'm not on my phone that much. I do revision. If they saw my screen time, no. So yeah, one top tip. I think that getting into things that would be beneficial in the long term would help, even if it's online. Like you said, the baking, that's really nice to get into, because when you're baking on your phone.
Yeah.
So while you are doing something, that's in the long term really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like finding a hobby that doesn't include your phone, because I know that there are so many hobbies that include your phone. Like if you want to, like, I'm trying to think of an example, but loads of things, like let's say baking, like you have to go online to look at like baking recipes. I have never seen anyone bring out a book except for me. I have seen you do
I actually have, because my mom used to buy a lot of cookbooks, so I have so many of them.
Yeah, apart from that, I haven't ever seen anyone put out. I definitely don't, but yeah.
Yeah. So does anyone else have anything they'd like to add?
At the end of the day, I think it's just a thing where, I was just going to say, like, there's just more to life than your mobile phone. Just always remember that. Don't become dependent on your phone. There's so much.
Don't become dependent on anything, to be honest.
Yeah. Unless it's just you on yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Amen.
I agree. And also, it's very, very, very easy to lose yourself. So I think we need to keep that in mind, that it's so easy to just be like 15 minutes more, 20 minutes more, and just stop yourself, Yeah. Yes.
Self-restraint, guys.
And discipline, self-discipline. And I think that's a good thing to have generally in the long run anyway. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for this. It's actually been really, really great. Thank you guys to Jadesola and Elif for joining us. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's probably been my favorite. It's been really, really nice. Thank you for joining us. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.